So let's talk about chord progressions that just work every single time, no matter what you do with them. Because apparently, music theory discovered cheat codes and nobody bothered to patch them out. These are the progressions that have been used in thousands of songs and somehow still hit when you hear them, which is honestly impressive considering how oversaturated they should be by now. First up, we've got the IV6-4, which is objectively the most overused progression in pop music history, and yet it still works because it's basically emotional manipulation in four chords. You've got your tonic establishing home, the dominant creating tension, the relative minor adding that touch of melancholy, and then the subdominant bringing you back around. It's in everything from Let It Be, the Don't Stop Believin', to like half of all pop songs written after 2000. And the reason it works is because it creates this perfect loop where the four wants to resolve back to I, so you can just cycle it forever while people feel things. Then there's the I-4-5, which is the holy trinity of music theory and the foundation of basically all blues and rock music ever written. Three chords, all diatonic, creating this perfect tension and release cycle where the four creates gentle movement away from home and the five screams, "We're going back to I," so loud that even people who don't know theory can feel it coming. It's simple to the point of being ridiculous. But that's why it works, because sometimes you don't need complexity, you just need solid harmonic function doing its job. The 6-4-1-5 is basically the sad version of the first progression, and it's in every emotional ballad and singer-songwriter track because starting on the relative minor immediately gives you that melancholic vibe before the 4 brings some hope, and then I-5 does its usual tension release thing. It's the progression of thinking about your ex at 2 a.m. Now we get to 2-5-1, which is the jazz progression that actually crossed over into pop because it's got this smooth voice leading that makes everything sound sophisticated. The 2 chord shares notes with the 4, so it's got that subdominant function, but with more color. The V does its dominant thing, and then I is home. The voice leading is so smooth that all the chords move by small intervals, which makes it sound natural and inevitable. Jazz musicians built entire careers on just variations of this one progression. And honestly, can you blame them when it sounds that good? The I-6-I-5 is the doo-wop progression, and it's got this circular quality that makes it perfect for verse structures because it just loops endlessly without feeling repetitive. Starting on I establishes home, 6 adds that touch of relative minor sadness, 4 creates subdominant motion, and V sets up the perfect return to I. Thousands of 50s and 60s songs use this exact progression, and it still shows up in modern music because apparently we haven't found a better way to create a self-contained harmonic loop. Then we've got the I major 3 for minor 4, which is sneaky brilliant because that major 3 is unexpected and the shift to minor 4 at the end adds this beautiful darkness. It's less common than the others, which means when you use it, people notice, but in a good way. The 4-I-5-6 is basically the pop-punk progression because it's got this anthemic quality where the 4 coming first creates immediate lift before I grounds it, and then V6 does that classic tension into relative minor move. It's in like every mid-2000s pop-punk song, and it works because it creates forward momentum from the very first chord since you're not starting on the tonic. The IV6-3-4-IV6-5 is the Pachelbel's canon progression, and yes, it's 8 chords instead of 4, but it's so iconic, it deserves mention because it's been used in everything from classical pieces to pop songs to rock ballads. The genius is in how it moves through all the primary and secondary chords, creating this grand sweeping motion that feels complete and satisfying. Finally, we've got the IV6-7 in minor, which is the Andalusian cadence, and it's basically the sound of dramatic flair. All the chords are from natural minor, the progression moves by thirds, which creates these big harmonic shifts, and the 7th I at the end is the strong resolution, despite not using the dominant chord. It's in everything from Hit the Road Jack to various flamenco-influenced music, and it works because those big harmonic leaps create drama without needing complex voice leading.